Good morning and welcome to the Community Connection. I'm Tom Lavine. In the studio with me today, I have FCC instructor Linda Monge, Julie Bryant, and Mary Morris. Hi, how you doing this morning?
Hello.
Great, thank you.
Okay, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the benefit that we're going to be putting on at FCC on Thursday, October 19th for Puerto Rican hurricane relief.
So it's Rockin' for Puerto Rico.
Rockin' for Puerto Rico.
It starts on the 19th of this month, and it runs when?
It runs from 6 o'clock, or 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
p.m.
5:30 to 8 p.m., and where is it at?
It's going to be here on the Bobcat Den. You know where the old movie theater used to be? We've converted that into the Bobcat Den. It's going to be outside on the parking lot, weather permitting. So you can come out there, bring a lawn chair, and show up to enjoy some great activities for the night.
So we're talking about Rockin' for Puerto Rico. It happens Thursday, October 19th. It's from 5:30 to 8 at the Bobcat Den. Linda, how did this all come to be?
Well, Mary Morris and I both have several of the Puerto Rican students that attend Frontier Community College in our classes.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as, first of all, it was Irma that hit the hurricane that went through Puerto Rico, and that was bad enough. But then when Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, it really was devastating to the island. And so our students, they're trying to cope with being in a totally different culture.
Right.
Number one, just being here. They're trying to keep up with their schoolwork and their athletics because they're all here. Most of them are here in the athletic program, but then worrying about their families. And so as we had them in class, you could tell that their mind wasn't on math, but it was on somewhere else, and rightfully so. And so I just felt that it was necessary that we come up with some way to show them that we supported them and that we were backing them and we would like to help in any way we could.
Okay. And so begat Rockin' for Puerto Rico. Mary,
yes.
What is Rockin' for Puerto Rico? Tell us how the evening starts.
Okay,
at 5:30.
The evening starts at 5:30 with food. And
well, that's a good start.
Yes, it's the best kind of start. And we're going to have tacos and nachos with a variety of toppings and things like that. All very good to eat. And we're going to have music, which is going to be kind of the centerpiece, which is why it's called Rockin' for Puerto Rico. Which, by the way, Linda came up with that name, which I think is a great name. Although I wish we had stayed with your first option. Tell them what your first option was, Linda.
Well, it was Puerto Rico,
which I think is fantastic. It's a great name. So it's Rockin' for Puerto Rico to the public, but in our hearts, it's Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Okay.
And it's
tacos at 5:30.
Tacos at 5:30. Nacho bar, yeah, and
music.
And music. Yes, we're going to have Tom Baker's Mardi Gras Brass Band, and they are fantastic. They're a 7-person ensemble, and they play Dixieland, swing music, and Latin and jazz. They play all kinds of stuff, and they're great to dance to. So they're going to be playing for quite a bit of the evening, and that's going to be kind of our primary entertainment for dancing, for listening, for whatever you'd like to do. And then we've got another...
Right. A local boy, James Beeson, who is very popular. He's the one that started Beeson Stock.
Right.
Well, he's an acoustic guitarist, and he will be performing that night as well, playing guitar and perhaps some vocals. So he will be performing during the evening at some time. We don't know the time schedule yet, so you need to come at 5:30 and stay till 8 o'clock.
So you don't miss a thing.
So you can see and hear everything.
Okay.
I also want to add that I'm very proud of the fact that several of the members of the brass band, or of the band, are also members of City Band here in Fairfield. So if you're a fan of City Band, you're going to see some of your favorites in here playing even more fun stuff, including my husband, Ryan Morris, who is not a member of the Mardi Gras Brass, but he is sitting in with them.
He's going to sit in?
Yes, he gets to sit in and play the trombone with them.
So are they going to be set up on the parking lot, or?
Well, if the weather permits, we will be outside in the parking lot. It would be nice to have it outside if possible. But if the weather is not so great, we are going to have it inside the Bobcat Den, which is a lovely venue as well, and it'll give people a chance to check it out if they haven't been there yet, from the community and for our students too, because I know
I just went in for the first time last month, and I was surprised at the changes. They are very nice.
If the last time you saw that place was when it was the old theater, you will not recognize it on the inside or the outside. I mean, the outside looks fantastic too. When I was giving Tom directions on how to get there, because he's going to come early to set up, and we were talking on the phone, and he says, "Well, how do I get there?" I'm like, "Well, you get to that first stoplight, and you turn left, and it's that really nice looking building with the big Bobcat logo on it, and it says Bobcat Den." And he said, "Sounds easy enough." Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
It's a beautiful place.
So, Julie, let's talk about cost. What is dinner and all this music going to cost people?
There is no cost for the event, actually. It's all going to be by donation.
Oh, okay.
So whatever you feel led to give, we're going to have a donation plate when you walk up to the event. You can give your donations then. We are also going to have the dinner provided, and we'll have a donation bin there. Whatever you feel led to give for the meal.
All right. We are talking to Linda Monge, Julie Bryant, and Mary Morris from Frontier Community College. We're talking about Rockin' for Puerto Rico, which comes up on October 19th. It starts at 5:30. That's Thursday night. And there's tacos, and then there's Tom Baker's Mardi Gras Bass Band and Brass Band. And
a bass band would be a very different kind of band.
Guys with fishing poles out there. And James Beeson will be playing. Linda, how many students from Frontier Community College are from Puerto Rico?
Okay, well, currently we have around 11 students on campus that are actually from Puerto Rico, that their homes would be considered Puerto Rico. And these students were brought to Frontier through the athletic program. So most of them are playing baseball, but we do have one girl that's in the volleyball program this year.
And she is a powerhouse.
Yes, she's an excellent volleyball player, and she's an excellent student.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that her English puts my Spanish to shame because she's quite bilingual, and it makes me feel like I should have paid a lot more attention in my Spanish class. But the students... That's a pretty good presence on campus.
Right.
And particularly because in class, the rule is Inglés only, solamente Inglés. But as soon as they leave class, you hear a lot of Spanish on campus. And so it really, I don't know, to me it just adds a nice dimension to our college.
Okay.
Yeah, it's changed the dynamic of things in a really great way. I mean, we're not an international campus because they're Americans just like us, they're US citizens. But it's brought a new culture, and it's really, I think our students and our campus are just the richer for them being there.
So, Mary, do you know how they found and settled on Frontier Community College from Puerto Rico? Because it's a long way from home.
It really is. And I remember when we were recruiting them, seeing many of them come, and they came with their families, and they stayed here, and they explored the area, and they chose to come here. I mean, they had other options, but they chose Frontier. So we're so glad that they did, and it's amazing that they did too, considering our athletic program is so new,
right.
and there are so many things, and several of the baseball players are among the founding members of the team. They were here last year during our first
inaugural season.
Yeah, our inaugural season. So they are part of the original. The OGs, the OGs of the baseball our Bobcats. So, yeah, and for most of them, they see it as a great opportunity. I mean, they want to come here and they want to be in college, and the whole idea is to come to the mainland to better their English, to get their education, to play ball, and to hopefully become professional ball players someday. That's what they want. That's what they're striving for.
And because they are technically American citizens, it's easier for them to come than somebody from one of the other.
From a total, yeah, exactly. I mean, they didn't have to, do visas or any of that stuff. I mean, it's just coming over here. But of course, getting over here and living over here, it is a different culture. So I think they've all had a little culture shock, but they've adapted so well. If the hurricane hadn't hit, I think it would just be business as usual. But there's so much going on back home now that I think we really want to shine a spotlight on them so we can help.
So was it immediate in class? You knew that these students were having problems with the fact that they were so far away from home and there was no word? Because I assume they didn't get word immediately from home that everything was okay.
Yeah, we actually interviewed some of the students yesterday. I went and got a group picture right outside the Mason building. And before taking the picture, I took the time to ask each one of them how long it took to contact their families. Nadia, the volleyball player, she was able to hear from her family within 4 days. But some of the other students, a lot of them, it took at least 1 to 2 weeks. And there was even one student who just was able to make contact with his father this Sunday. So the connection out there with all the power being out, I mean, none of the power is restored yet. No access to clean drinking water. Conditions are just really poor right now in Puerto Rico. And so it's really hard for them to be here and not home with their families and wondering how long it's going to be before life goes back to normal.
Are their families encouraging them that they're in a better place? Imagining Fairfield is a better place than Puerto Rico.
I think so. They didn't touch a whole lot on that, but I think they know, right now they're in a lot better shape than their families, and I think that's hard for them.
Quick access to food, water, electricity.
I know that I talked to a couple of them today and was asking about if they were going to be going home Thanksgiving or Christmas. They weren't sure they were going to go home either holiday because of the situation in Puerto Rico. And there lies another problem. I mean, as we all know, we all like to be with our families on major holidays.
Right.
And so now they're going to be probably here in Fairfield, Illinois for at least Thanksgiving, and a lot of them won't be able to afford the very expensive plane tickets now to go from the United States to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I actually I talked to two of my students from Puerto Rico, and they're trying to make arrangements to get home for Christmas. And right now they're really hopeful that they'll be able to get home within the first week or two of December, but they're still not sure.
All right, we are talking about Rockin' for Puerto Rico. It takes place Thursday, October 19th. That's this Thursday from 5:30 to 8 on the Bobcat Den parking lot. And Julie, let me ask you this: where is the donation money going to go? How is that going to be dispersed? How does that help people in Puerto Rico?
So after the end of the event, all of the proceeds from this are going to go to World Vision. We have been looking at a few charities to give the money to, but we decided to go with World Vision for their humanitarian efforts. They're an international charity, and they like to provide humanitarian aid, development, and advocacy organizations. And so they have been partnering with some of the churches in Puerto Rico, not just in San Juan, where a lot of the publicity seems to be, but throughout the whole island. They're sending donations for food and water, shelter, first aid kits, and hygiene kits, which are the shampoo and the soap, and even the diapers that you don't think about that for the younger children, that they need all this too. So we're going to be giving our money to provide all that for the citizens in Puerto Rico.
Okay, and again, it's the taco bar, the nacho bar, and the bands will be playing.
And we wanted to say something else about the dancing. The bands, we're going to have the brass band and James Beeson. And so that music's going to be really nice, really catchy. And we're actually going to have some of the students teaching salsa lessons.
Really?
I believe there's 3 students in particular that mentioned they know how to salsa dance. And we've talked to them about teaching lessons where anybody who comes to the event can join in, learn some basic steps, and then the rest of the lineup, they can dance and have a great time.
Yeah.
I might also add that night the Bobcat Coffee House will also be open.
Okay.
So if
so serving's not going to be in the coffee house; it's going to be on the parking lot.
Well, we're
weather
permitting. But the coffee house, if anybody's been out there, they have espresso drinks and they have tea and that type of thing. Delicious. So they will be open during the evening as well.
Another thing about buying a drink that night, if you're cold outside and want to go in for that, if you buy a drink, you'll get a free cookie. We're going to have sugar cookies in the shape of the Puerto Rican flag. So another little perk from Frontier Perks to go with the drink.
Very nice.
There you go.
Catchy.
That's why she's the marketing person.
Exactly.
All of this happens on October 19th. We mentioned it just in passing. What about the weather?
Obviously, kind of towards the end of October, it's going to be a little bit cooler. So we would advise anybody who wants to come to the event to bring a jacket in addition to your lawn chair if you want to sit and watch the event.
So just from the initial thought, Puerto Rico, to Rockin' for Puerto Rico, how do you think everything has progressed? Were you amazed that it came together so fast? Or, I mean, because we're just like a month away from hurricane landfall.
Well, I will say that anyone that I have mentioned it, they say, oh, that's great. We're so glad that someone is doing something. And so whatever we do, whatever money is raised, whatever donation we can give is more than we gave last week.
Exactly.
So we want, number one, that people in the community that may have wanted to donate toward the cause but did not know how to help the people in Puerto Rico. Plus, we wanted the families of the students that are on campus to know that we were supporting them. I think that I've heard nothing but positive feedback.
Yes.
It really kind of puts into perspective how things are going in Puerto Rico, because you watch it on the news and you're hearing how things are going, but to actually see these students and interact with them and kind of hear about what their families are going through, it makes you realize how we take things for granted and how lucky we are to be in the Midwest where we don't face these terrible hurricanes and work through.
And I might also add that as instructors, part of our job obviously is to teach English or mathematics or history. But a very important element of our job also is to make the students feel comfortable in their situation and to know that we're there to support them in the classroom and out of the classroom. And for all of the students from Puerto Rico that I have had in class, family, their homeland, and their livelihood there, I mean their family, what they do, is very, very important to them. They're very proud. And for this to come through and just devastate their homes and their homeland has been very hard on them. So if we can help in a little bit of a way, we're there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Is that, let me ask the two instructors, Mary and Linda, is that the advantage of Frontier Community College, that teachers are willing to get in there and help out?
I think that's one of the many advantages of Frontier Community College.
Other than the awesome speech teacher.
Other than the amazing teaching, the amazing education you can get. We have the luxury of teaching smaller classes so that we can get to know our students. And the best part of my job is getting to know my students through what they write for me and how they talk to me. And all my students, they all have lives and families and jobs and so many other things that go on in their lives aside from the 3 hours a week I get to see them. While I'm focusing on helping them learn and being there for them, we can't forget those however many other hours in the week, and we don't, we keep that in mind. And with these students especially, but imagine going to college somewhere where you know the language but not well, but you're required to think in it, speak in it, and write in it all day, every day, to people who are native speakers and writers of that language. I mean, just the fact that they're here doing this is remarkable. And, we want to make sure that they can do this and, try to help so that maybe home life isn't as much a worry. Okay.
So let's go over it one more time. It is Rockin' for Puerto Rico or Puerto Rico, if you care. If either way you want to look at it, it is Thursday, October 19th, starts at 5:30. And what do we get at 5:30, Linda?
Okay, at 5:30 when you arrive, that is when food will be available, and you can choose where you want to put your lawn chair. I mean, you'll be the first one there. And so we'll be in the setup mode. The music will actually begin at 6 p.m.
Okay, music is, and Julie, who is music by?
Music is going to be by Tom Baker's Mardi Gras Brass Band and James Beeson playing acoustic guitar as well.
And as a special added bonus, there'll be students teaching
salsa lessons.
Salsa lessons.
Salsa dancing.
Yes.
Okay. I am very excited about that because I've heard them talk about it before, and I just, I can't wait to see it.
Really fun.
And Mary, what's the cost for all this?
The cost is going to be by donation.
Donation.
Please, open your hearts, open your ears, and open your wallets. Help out a good cause.
All right. Again, it is Thursday night, October 19th. It's from 5:30 to 8 on the Bobcat Den parking lot.
So if you can't come, check out World Vision online.
Samaritan's Purse.
Samaritan's Purse. UNICEF. UNICEF is please help in whatever way you can. If you can't come out and see us, we understand, but do support Puerto Rico, even if it's just from your home.
All right, that is going to do it for today. Thank you for being my guest. You're wonderful spokespeople.
Thank you.
I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you.
That's it for today.
Thank you.